So last week, Bhante walked us through the teachings of the four Brahma Viharas. This teaching focuses on the four Brahma Viharas, also known as the sublime abodes, the four boundless qualities of the heart that the Buddha has taught as a powerful objects of meditation. By directing a concentrated and collective mind towards these qualities, we cultivate deep inner peace and progress towards jhanas, meditative absorptions. The four types of Brahma Viharas are metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. Metta means loving kindness, karuna means compassion in English, mudita, altruistic or appreciative joy, and equanimity, which is upekkha. The benefits of practicing the Brahma Viharas is regularly cultivating your practices. Deep concentration, which leads to samadhi, purification of the heart and mind, and gradual progress towards nibbana. Bhante emphasized last week that these qualities should be developed towards ourselves first, then extended outward beings everywhere, without limitations or discrimination. I will go through just briefly the four practices. The first one is love and kindness, which is called metta, which is the Buddha's language. Metta is a sincere wish of well-being and happiness of oneself and others. The core intentions of this practice means you could say things like, and I know most of us already practice metta quite a few times, which is love and kindness. So we say things like, may all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Bhante gave an example that metta is often compared to a mother's unconditional love for her only child. So sending boundless love and kindness to everyone, yourself, and the rest of the world. How to practice loving kindness? Begin with yourself, like I mentioned. Extend loving kindness to your loved one, to other people, even to difficult people. Bhante said, even if they're difficult people in your lives, no matter what, you should still send them loving kindness. Gradually, this will radiate metta to all beings without exception. Spread it in all directions, which is another example. So we spread metta first to ourselves and to other beings like our family members, in our city, in our town, our world. And we can also practice towards sending metta in all directions, north, south, east, west, above, and below. So including all beings. The second one is compassion, which is karuna, like I mentioned first, the four types of practices. So the second one is compassion. So this means compassion towards ourselves and also compassion towards others. Compassion, karuna, is a heartfelt response to suffering. It is often described as a trembling or softening of the heart when encountering pain. If we feel overwhelmed or sad, or we're going through anything like any kinds of suffering, we can say, we can have compassion towards ourselves and others. How to practice? Bhante said, notice suffering in yourself and others. So, for example, if you have family members and they're close to you, you might be able to notice that they are also suffering. Instead of turning away, gently soften your heart. Recognize your emotion clearly, label them if helpful, and meet them with care and compassion, which is karuna. Respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. So those are just a few how to practice karuna, compassion. The third one is appreciative joy, which is called mudita. Bhante shared that mudita is one of the most neglected and yet most powerful practices that we should incorporate into our life. Mudita is the ability to sincerely rejoice in the happiness of success, happiness, and good fortune of others. It is the deliberate cultivation of joy for others. So despite our jealousy, we can still send compassion and practice appreciative joy towards others. Bhante said, when jealousy arises in us, which I'm sure most of us have that, when jealousy, I know I do, when jealousy arises, it often comes with comparisons such as their family is better than my these are just examples, like your family is better than my family, they're lucky or they're rich. Bhante said, when others succeed, always be happy for them. Even though you are feeling sad about it, you should still be happy no matter what. Practice mudita. First, recognize jealousy without judgment. So recognize that when you're jealous, and then send those appreciative joy towards other by saying, you wish them well, and just have really good intentions rather than having jealousy. So that is appreciative joy. Bhante also said that we can practice, there's a meditation called appreciative joy. We can practice that whenever we feel jealousy. The last and final one is equanimity, apeka. Apeka is a balanced, steady mind rooted in wisdom. It means seeing things as they truly are without bias, clinging, or aversion. Equanimity involves letting go of the need to control outcomes of certain things in our lives. It's reflecting on karma, which is, I'm sure everyone knows what karma is. All beings are owners of their own actions, and also practice cultivating inner balance in all situations. So whether life have ups or downs, or we're sad, we should look at it as like not have those feelings. And Bhante, forgive me if I'm not saying this right, but Bhante had mentioned the reflections. We should look at the 8 worldly conditions. So those 8 worldly conditions are gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and disrepute, pleasure and pain. So even though the world, we have these ups and downs, through apeka, we learn to remain steady despite these fluctuations in our life. By remembering the impermanence and nature for all experiences, and realizing attachment and a resistance, we open ourselves to a deep, enduring peace. In close, the Brahma Viharas, again, are the 4 types of practices that we should put in place in our daily life: metta, karuna, mudita, apeka, loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. Bhante said, the Brahma Viharas are not just meditation practices, they're ways of living. So we should incorporate these 4 things in our life. Even if we practice 1 a week, it's good to have to practice this on a daily basis, because it helps us to be more peaceful, realize wisdom, and have kindness for ourselves and for others. Bhante said, when anger arises, pause and know that you have anger. When others suffer, open your heart to them, no matter what and how you feel. When others succeed, rejoice in their success. When life fluctuates, remain balanced.
Thank you, Tina, going through the last 8 teachings and bringing a kind of a good idea about for that Brahma Vihara, or that ways of living lives. And I'm sure if you have tried to practice this, and so this can lead to deeper concentrations also. And if you would like to learn those things, so feel free to ask questions or write to us, and we once in a while, when we get a chance, we will reply. Our volunteers always, if there is something special, they are bringing it to me, and then I will answer for your questions. Saying that, and so in future, we will make these classes to like a course model, so then you can go through this. Now we have recordings, but I know that sometimes you may start to listen, but after sometimes it may just you forget it, and when you start to start over again, you may feel like like where should I start, like you forgot things. So to overcome from that, We are thinking of putting this to that somewhere like Udemy also. And so saying so, today we are diving to something really special about the nature of these living beings. So that you know that this world would like to know that how we born to this world and what is the this living force and energy. So today onwards we are uh, within 5 classes I will try to give you the all the main details and the things you need to know about the dependent origination, and then we can dive into the teachings and get a kind of a good understanding to know about the what Buddha said. So I would like you to have a like a open, relaxed idea, like, oh, like it's like, shall we say like this? Okay, please have a blank sheet in your head. Why I'm saying so? When we learn this is a really important thing. When you learn something new, you try to understand. So it's like you are not understanding what I'm saying. When my idea, I try to turn it to words, and when you hear these words, from that words you try to create a idea in your head, like from the words, not my idea. We are not connecting through idea to idea, we are connecting through, I'm converting. It's like think that I'm uh, encrypting and decrypting that to a word, and then you take that word and you are decrypting in your codes, not my codes. So it's like there's a always communication barrier when we speak. And when you learn, if you have prior knowledge, what we do is you are taking it, and it's like you are taking this knowledge, you are taking through your knowledge and try to get understanding. So, so the best thing is to do that, because we need to understand what Buddha said. You are not here to learn what my point of view, and I don't want to waste your time to say about my point of view. We can talk about that while having a coffee or tea. So the most important thing is we all want to know what Buddha said. So, and it should, so Buddha saying that this is a teaching, we can understand it here and now. And his teachings are well discussed. If a teaching is well discussed and here we can understand it here and now, it's a great, if it is a great teaching called Akaliko, timeless, and whenever we dive into that, we can get it, that we can understand it, and open to all teaching, Ehipasiko, open inverse teaching, and when we dive into that, we can understand that. So this teaching should have that we should have ability to understand that. So let's understand it, like learn like someone who's try to learn it for the first time, and instead of try to match it with your memory, try to take the understanding on it. It's not, you are not like matching it to your memory, you are trying to get the understanding. So it's like sutta, you are listening, datta, you are memorizing it, vachasa parichita, you are using your words, and you are verbally using that pattern, and manasanupekkita, you are wisely considering that. Ditya suppatividda, you are correcting your vision. So that's what we are doing in this class. So uh, Buddha, so after Buddha attained into the Buddhahood, he taught this how this world, like how living beings are existing, and so he understood this living nature of this living as a suffering. So now you need to bring your knowledge why it says suffering why it says suffering, why it says suffering instead of like talking about happiness. So then we know that suffering, that in that the basket of suffering, happy feeling also there, unhappy feeling also there, neutral feeling also there. All three feelings are there in that basket of suffering. Not only feelings, also the form, the body, and perceptions, ideas about others, and the intentions and the consciousness. So whatever the aggregates which have clinging, 5 aggregates of clingings, we call suffer the dukkha or the suffering. So Buddha understood this as a suffering, and not only that, he understood that reason for the suffering. Reason for the suffering is not the form actually, not the feelings, not the perceptions, not the intentions, and not the consciousness. Aggregates of clinging. Clinging is the problem. That this mind has a nature to cling, attach. So when attached, there's a suffering. And that's the second universal or the noble truth. First noble truth is suffering. Second one is cause for the suffering. Third is cessation of suffering. Cessation means that end of suffering. End of suffering means that letting go all the attachments. And fourth noble truth is path to cessation of suffering or the noble eightfold path. So mindfulness is a one out of that 8. Right. So now we are learning suffering and cause for the suffering, independent origination. And so that's where, or that's what we are gonna learn here. So before diving into that, ask from yourself, do I understand sufferings as sufferings, like without any excuses? Even though we are living in suffering, even though we have to deal with sufferings as happiness, we should not take it out of that basket of suffering. Why it's so? Every conditioned thing has this changing nature, impermanence. So impermanence things are suffering. Uh, Yesterday, while we are going to DC, one of our meditator, we had a conversation, and he asked a good question, which is, what did you gain from Buddhism, or what did you understand from Buddhism? So, answer for that is, we had a long discussion. So that the answer is, from anywhere other than these teachings, you don't find fulfillment. Fulfillment and happiness is a two different thing. Fulfillment means you do not want to find anything else, and you are not just like, it's not a delusion, like that you are not listening to others and afraid of losing faith, and because of that not listening to other point of views. It's not like this. Finding something within yourself to find full 100% fulfillment, like that's it, there is nothing to do. So that's what we can gain from Buddhist teachings. So then we need to understand, are we, so that means we are not fulfilled in our life. You can see it within yourself. It's like this. When you see thousands or millions of, okay, we have seen millions of things through these eyes, but these eyes never say that, okay, now I'm fulfilled. So if there's a movie, a kind of a world famous movie like Titanic or something, I don't know, there are nowadays movies, don't ask from me. So when it says, your eyes will say, hey, let's go and watch it. So your the eyes never get fulfilled, and ears never get fulfilled. Like there is no, but ego always asks, what next, what next? So why so? We are trying to find fulfillment through I does not have the fulfillment. I is there to create kind of a comparison and show us, hey, there's something special over there. And when we achieve that, it shows something else, and we compare and we want to achieve that. All these six sense faculties has this issue. So that's why no matter even you gain 10 PhDs, no matter you gain 100 billion, no matter you gain anything, that the sense faculties doesn't give fulfillment. Right. So then, is there any fulfillment? Of course there is. That's the third universal noble truth. The cessation of all the sufferings. How someone attain that? Eradicating all the attachment. So, so then we need to understand this dependent origination. So let's dive into this. Okay, I will share this dependent origination. So in dependent origination, there's called that Arya Nyaya. In we Sinhala, we say that this is not the 100% complete translation. It's like this. When there is this, there is this. It's like if there is A, then there is B. That's the one thing. And then the second thing is when A born, B also be born. That's the universal nature. And then the opposite also the same. When this is not there, this also not. It's like when A is not there, B also not there. And then when A ceased, B also ceased. That's the the main theory of the dependent origination. That means that it's like this. If one is not there, the second also not there. Likewise, whole 12 is not there. So if one is there, the next one also there. The whole thing is there. So it's not like we are stopping one. It's like and then think that since there are 12, we are stopping 12, and then after sometime we are stopping 11, we are stopping 10. It's not like that. It's a dependent origin. So depending from one, the other thing arises, like cause and effect circle, right? And then so okay, so the first one we say that avijja, the ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing of four noble truths. Second one is formation or the sankhara. It has three main sankhara. You don't want to like remember anything, just because we are just covering the whole syllabus. So then you are just getting kind of a common understanding. Formation mean the sankhara. Kaya sankhara means bodily formation, and then the vachi sankhara means verbally formation, and chitta sankhara means mind formation. So based on that, consciousness arises. And based on consciousness, nama rupa arises. Name and form means that mentality and materiality. We can learn that. And then six sense bases or the six sense faculties based on that. The six sense faculties means eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Based on that, contact arises. Based on contact, feelings arises. Based on feelings, craving arises. Based on cravings, clinging arises. Because of clinging, the bhava, or the bhava means that the against the karma, or that karma which lead to birth arises, and because of that, birth arises. Because of birth, aging and death arises. Aging and death, we all know what it is, aging and death. And so it's like we are understanding why aging and death happens, and we understand what is the reason for that. Reason is birth. If anyone born to this world, they are going through this aging and death. So birth is there because of the bhava, which means that there's a reason to birth, or the karma. that bhava means that not only karma, it has karma is like with the saying like the field. Field means that think that someone want to plant a seed, and to plant a seed we need a field or some sort of a soil. So soil is like the karma, the planting seed is like the vijnana or the consciousness, the watering is the clinging. If we have karma to be born in as a human, so based on that, that seed of consciousness planting over there, and based on and it grows with the clinging. In basically, because of avijja, ignorance, formation sankhara arises. Because of sankhara, formations, consciousness arises. Because of consciousness, mentality and materiality, nama rupa arises. Because of nama rupa, six sense faculties arises, six sense bases. Because of that, contact arises. Because of contact, feelings arises, vedana. Because of vedana, tanha arises. Tanha means the clinging, and because of tanha, craving. Because of tanha, upadana arises, clinging. Because of clinging, bhava arises. Bhava means that the ground for the birth, and because of birth and the decaying and death arises. So it's like this is the thing, but don't break it to like when you talk about this. When you say birth and when you say bhava, don't think okay we are talking about the previous life. So try to understand it here and now. Uh, I will say the reason, because when you learn whole set of teachings of the Buddha, you can understand this, and then the right vision rises. Because if not, we are creating like our mind now. I know that your all of our mind now try to map this, because without a map, without a wireframe, our mind can't understand this. So but if we map in a wrong way, whatever the things we are learning in future, we are trying to put it to that map, and then we try to create our own dependent origination, and then uh, it takes some time to erase that. So therefore, let's learn what the way Buddha said. Because if when we want to learn something, when we want to think something related to previous lives, so Buddha is saying, take this uh, set and think about the past also in the same way. When you want to think about this in the future, okay, think on the same way. But while I'm saying this, in commentaries, there's a way to even to map this like it says atita hetu, that the reason which comes from past, vartamana hetu, which reason which comes in this moment, anagata hetu, reasons which come from future. But remember, in this class we are learning exact, we are not I'm not taking you out from that the Sanyutta and that the combined discourse second canon, um, the teachings of the discourse directly came from Buddha, and we are first learning that frame, and then we can go to the if you would like, you can refer commentaries and can refer other things. Okay, Shahani asked the question.
Yeah. So is this like something circular? Because in that case, like because of aging and death, you have ignorance. I don't understand that
Yeah,
part.
that's why I said that now our mind is trying to map this. So, so, uh, be careful, because when we map in a certain way, then it's really difficult to remove it. And so, and so it's not like, so as I said, now let's go to the basic, that we said the Arya Nyaya, that the basic theory of this. When A is there, B is there. When A born, B also be born. Like when A is not there, B is not there here. Not there. When A ceased, B also ceased. So then you know that it's you instead of connecting death and decay to the delusion, it's like how to say, like shall we say that okay, think that we are talking about thunder. To make to have a thunder, there should be a, I don't know where that analogy comes, simply comes to my mind. Sorry if you don't know about this. That's that what it said, that electricity which generate because of that, that to transfer, yeah, static. So static energy. So there should be reasons, like that differentiation, the electrons and positive and negative, and because of that uh, that the air, that the clouds are rubbing together, and they also make that electricity and it transfer. So when that exact situation happen, that happens. So it's not like we, instead of saying it like a circle, when this day here, the other one is here, like because of this happen, and if when there is not that, this thing is not here. So so the answer for that is, so avijja is the reason and the ultimate reason for the sufferings, and avijja is not there, the whole and the dukkha, the suffering is not there. So that's the way we need to understand. Does that make sense?
So I was just gonna ask if we can apply this to like a here and now example. So I mean, the volitional, like the sankhara and consciousness part is a bit confusing, but like let's say like the sense faculties, right? Like for the example, I'll use like maybe like coffee or something. So there's like the tongue, and then the contact is like when the coffee touches the tongue, and then the
And
feet. Oh, sorry, go.
coffee, tongue, and the consciousness which arises in that very moment.
Of
That's
the coffee.
yeah, three things coming together is the contact.
Okay, so like that awareness at that moment. And then after that, there's the feeling. So the feeling,
Right.
let's say I like coffee, so it's a pleasant feeling.
No, that's where we are making mistakes. So
Okay.
consciousness arises. Consciousness is constantly changing, right? So consciousness arises, and based on your consciousness, think that the coffee, you expected rich coffee, but you get like a classic or less that the coffee, how to say that, it's that
Mild.
it's not so powerful, like it's like
Weak.
water, not you don't feel it. So
Okay.
when you're based your that, then you feel unpleasant feeling, and if
Okay.
that coffee match your regular expectation, you feel neutral based on delusion. But
Yeah.
if it feels something special to you, like it's a kind of special coffee taste you never had but you like it, then it
Yeah.
will create the pleasant feeling. So feelings are changing based on your conscious. Okay, go ahead.
So, but that's based on your prior expectation in any given situation.
Prior expectation, yes, we can say prior expectation, like the sense faculties arises based on nama rupa, or the mentality and the materiality. So those are constantly changing. So right, okay, go ahead. And then yes, feelings arises.
Okay, and then after feeling, so let's say in the case that it's like a very good, like way above my expectations, then I have the craving or the desire for that experience again. That's like
Yeah.
stored in the mind.
Right, and not only that, craving lean to clinging. Craving and clinging is something different. Clinging is like you don't have authority, you are dying into it, Dilip. It's like you don't have choice.
Yeah.
You are like a slave of that,
Like an addiction.
yeah. So that's why that that even though people do some bad things, even that takes them to prison. That's how
They
the
don't care.
clinging is, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess this is where it's like completely confusing for me. So that leads to becoming, but what does that
Yes, Baba. Yes.
what does that mean though?
So that's the power to exist. That's the karma. That you are doing something intentionally. That's where the karma is. That karma contains your attachment or the clinging. That karma contains your consciousness. The shape that your consciousness also shaping up with that. So think that, okay, now think this to the next life, since that in this life also your conscious constantly changing. You are a person, you are super, in that way you are super. I think that you had a you have a super craving to forget about coffee. You don't do bad things to coffee. Think that you have a super craving to, shall we say, some maybe to a jewel, special jewel, and then you see it's in somewhere in a museum. So you make a plan and make a plan and with the team, and you break the security system, making a code, and you're going there and you're taking it. So that's where the karma is. Then that karma, what that karma make? That karma shape your birth. So that karma not only shape this life, that karma shape your delusion and anger and all the defilements to shape this life, but think that this life over, that karma can take you to turn you to a human because of the way your consciousness shaped. Maybe somewhere in four world, like animal world or ghostly world, or the asura world or the hell world. Why? That's how your consciousness turned into.
So based on the cling, so like in that case, it's like jewel, right? I'm like clinging the jewel. I like really, really want it. That shapes the future actions. That's the becoming, shaping the
Right? We
future
can say so.
actions
Not only
and
future action,
intentions.
so your action, it shapes your future, but that your actions is the becoming.
Okay, the action, it shapes the future moment-to-moment experiences that I will have. Something like that.
Yeah, can say
Okay,
so.
but the birth part is completely after I die, the next life. Can
That's
it be
why I say
implied here and now?
that's why I say don't break it there. So the reason is just now you are born to this world or not,
Yeah,
right? To have to get going this, do you need a karma or energy or not?
yeah, some sort of energy. Yes.
Definitely. If not, there is no karma,
Yeah.
and then how's your life is going? So
So
that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, because of that, the birth is there. Here's the thing. That's why I'm saying, okay, since you ask, I say that if you, so then Arahant, becoming an Arahant means he is attaining Nibbana in this very life while he's having this usual eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and this sense faculty. So then, what is the meaning of Arahant? So then it's like that Arahant is that Arahanthood is like in the next life. Actually there is no life. So that that enlightenment happen here and now. So that means in this world or in here also, we are born to this world, decaying and dying, and all the sufferings are here. So what I'm saying that this dependent origination here and now, yes, of course, this same dependent origination reshape when this life force and energy over in here for the next life. So it's not, don't just calculate to only to the next lives. So in that way, if you calculate in that way, then you all whatever the things what happening in this moment, this life, are based on previous karma. Now that previous means that previous life karma. Now previous life gave you that force to born here, but karma has three places to effect. One is ditta dhamma vedini, here and now. Second, upapajja vedini, very next life. Third, aparaparya vedini, which means here and now, not here and now, not next life, but somewhere before you attain the nibbana. So right. So that's the answer for that. Yes, we can talk about next life, but here also we have dependent origination here and now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Osha, what's the question?
Yes, I just want to make sure if I understand correctly. If there is no karma, then there is no birth. Is that
Right.
correct? Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
correct.
you end your karma by ending clinging.
Correct.
And everything else that comes before the clinging, the craving and
Right.
okay.
100%. It's like
So
this. I will add something, then you can ask the question. Like, think that you have a necklace. Throwing away the necklace is not the way, because if you love that, next day your mind will ask, "Hey, I need that necklace," and you will go to your backyard and try to find it. So the way is understanding clinging, understanding that whole avijja, that the delusion it, and letting it go, and that's how that freedom arises.
Hi, Bhante. So a arahant doesn't go through this cycle of dependent origination. Is that
Correct.
correct? Okay.
Arahant. So in the end of the sutta we will learn. So it's like this. In brief, I will say, Nissitasa chalitang, anisitasa chalitena. So when this clinging and things are there, this and that chalitang means like, that dwelling is there. When there is no clinging, these dwellings are not there. So in that verse, Arahant's mind described, ni with, he's not here, no hura, not in somewhere after this life, not in between. That's the end of suffering. So that sufferings end because ending the avijja or the delusion. And okay, I will bring some sort of a comforting teaching for you to feel comfort. If you feel this is something like rocket science, don't worry. Arahant Sariputta one day saying, if you understand Jati Pachya Jara Marana, because of birth, decaying and death happen, if you understand it properly, you are a stream entrant. You will be a stream entrant. So that means if someone understand that because of birth, decay and death happens properly, I'm not just saying a knowledge, something understanding that within themselves, the same understanding which you don't feel like I may get if you feel like I don't understand that avidya pacha sankara, or that the delusion based formation, the same knowledge, when you clear this, so you will understand that this whole teaching is well, like that when you learn this part, you will easily understand what the connection to the noble eightfold path. In the noble eightfold path, we say Samma Ditti, or the understanding of Four Noble Truth. That's the same thing. Jati Pachya Jarama. Now, because of birth, decaying, and death happen. If someone has that knowledge properly, that's the same thing we talk about here. So actually, you are letting go two things. If someone becoming an arahant, one is avijja, or the delusion. Because you are letting go of the delusion, that clinging is eradicating. That's why I say that vijja and vimukti. Vijja means that end of delusion, that with that wisdom comes, and vimukti means that the freedom from clinging. So the difference between regular living being and arahant is, arahant has vijja, or that the opposite of the delusion, and that means that the wisdom, and because of that, wisdom can't exist without freedom. Because of that wisdom, freedom also there. So then that freedom from all the clingings. So if we have attachment, that means that this attachment is not someone else put in our head, because we don't know, we don't have that wisdom yet. And so in that same way, if someone say like, okay, I understand this is suffering, but I can let this go, that means that knowledge, we need to turn it to real wisdom. That knowledge need practice to see within ourselves, and gradually it let go. It's like, if you can remember that the cake example, which I said that you may receive think that someone's birthday and giving a cake and you're all enjoying it very much, and someone who next to you try to take your cake also to eat while he has his own. Since you like it very much, you are not ready to give it, and you are angry about that, and suddenly someone checking the batch number and saying, hey, this cakes asked to return, revoke, and this company asked to return it because this contains something poisonous and can create cancer. No matter how delicious it, at that moment your mind is ready to let it go, and if someone try to put it to your mouth, you strongly reject it. Why so? You, because of that understanding, create a dispassion to that attachment. So likewise, when true understanding arises, that attachments are gradually erasing. And it's not the anger. When we have attachment, think that some people say that I don't have attachment to my ex, and it's maybe not the dispassion or freedom. It must be the anger. How do we say that? When you see that person, if you get like, if your mind is like, feel like unpleasantness, and your mind is not ready to see any sort of a good thing, and that means that you have attached, not in the through the pleasant experience, but through an unpleasant experience. It's not the freedom, it's again attachment, it's again a clinging. So the real understanding is freedom. So you are free from all attachment that comes with the end of all the delusion. Wisdom, not with I. I does not have wisdom. Wisdom does not have I. So then wisdom itself free ourselves, and I does not free ourselves. I always attach to something. So that's what we need to understand. So in your case, what we need to do is, when you learn teachings and when you practice, you will understand in reality. In this class, of course, I can talk this easily, and so actually we are not loving to the other person. We are loving to our own perceptions and feelings, but we are claiming we are loving to the other person. In this world, like, think that I judge Prasad. Actually, I'm not judging Prasad. I'm judging my perceptions. There is no way to judge him, because when I see him, my point of views are all things comes together, and through my point of views, I'm judging, oh, he's a person like this, good person or bad person. Likewise, and then after we judge, we attach to our perceptions. So that's why people we love go away from our lives. So if they really love us as we think, then how they leave us? Think that the feelings what we have at the moment towards that person, if that person also have that feelings, think that that person genuinely have the feelings what we have at the moment, can he live? No, he can live. That means that we are putting all our feelings in that person's appearance, and we are believing that. It's like this, that there are some different uh, the statues. Some statues, especially in Indian culture, there are some statues of gods. They are like, those gods are named like so powerful and angry and furious. And so if someone knows the stories of that god, and when he sees that god, he feels like that statue, I'm not saying the god, they feel like super fear, like that faith with that afraid, and really afraid of doing something wrong and he'll punish and paying super respect. How it happens, we are putting all our memory to that statue and believing this. Think that someone who's coming from a totally different culture, he may see, oh, wow, such a nice statue, such a different way of seeing a god. And he may take like this and take photos, take selfies. He never feels anything like that. But people who are looking at it may totally mad about that and may upset about that. So likewise, instead of we are saying that we are judging others, actually we are judging ourselves. As a living beings, we all have attachment rights because no one is enlightened, and you're living under a tree and just coming to class and going back to it under to the jungle and coming with the arms round, and not like that. You are after this class, even you are going back to your regular life. So that's the reality, right? That means you all have attachments. That's the truth. So every attachment based on a delusion. So now we can generally talk about that one because we know what is delusion in here. But if we say this in another class, since they don't know about what is the context of delusion, they will be super angry with us. Whenever I try to correct it, whenever I always comes with the problem. When we let go that I perspective and we practice impermanence and in that seeing that unsatisfaction and the non-self as a meditation. Non-self does not see through a self, like self doesn't see a non-self. Nature, we see the nature. So then what happens? These clingings are little by little fading away, and you will see it within yourself. And then you will feel super freedom in you. Your freedom is the only evidence you understand these teachings, and that freedom, with that freedom, you will see your back, like you will do a flashback. Okay, now I don't have that much of a suffering like I used to. So that's how we understand. Now, okay, I'm going to recap this because so we are learning dependent origination. So this is uh, this has a huge depth, and Buddha says so. One day, Arahant Ananda, before he attained arahantship, he's a stream entered first stage monk, but he was the monk who took care of Buddha, like all the things. Like he was the like assistant monk to Buddha. He had a great wisdom, and he's the uh, like a best mindful monk. One day, he's saying to Buddha, his conversations with the Buddha is like friendly and so openly saying something, openly requesting things which may other monks never even think of. So, like on behalf of others, not on behalf of him. He never speak for himself throughout his that assisting Buddha, for Buddhas throughout his life. He's saying, Buddha, dear Buddha, Bhante, I feel like this dependent origination is the more, like, it's easy to understand. Buddha saying, mind what you are saying, Ananda, mind what you are saying. Mahevang Anandevanyavacha. Ananda, don't say that. So this is the most complicated thing because this is like a thread, that thread ball. It's that this thread is like that it's not well organizingly wrapped, and therefore it's going here and there, and it's really difficult to find end and uh, clear it, find the like it's really difficult to find a way to recover that thread ball. So likewise, because because people can't understand this, that's why this sufferings continues. not because of the other thing. So even though we feel it's like easy, it's really difficult to understand. Based on that discussion, Buddha teach another depth of dependent origination, like it's in not in that combined discourse second part, it's in long discourse part, because it's a long discourse. If you would like to go through it, just type Mahanidana Sutta and then you will see what is that sutta is. Let's say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today we started to learn about dependent origination, one of the best teaching we can learn as a human being from Buddha. So we accumulated good karma, good merits, good blessings to our life. And let's share this blessing. Today we have some special reason. John is asking, today is birthday of my grandmother who has passed, and I would like to share merit with. Her name is Tilma, and we are sharing merits to him. And let's share all this merit first of all. If there are any private guardian to us, with them and with all the divinely powers, good spirits may rejoice the merits. And let's share these merits with Tilma and all your past relatives and friends. And let's share all these merits with our teacher, Pinnath Loko Swamin Wahanse, and all the monastic monks who live all around the world. And let's share all these merits with our wonderful volunteers and all the meditators and Dhamma listeners who are joining the class regularly. May you all be well, may you all be happy, may your all good wishes come true, and may you all able to practice Dhamma and experience the blissfulness and happiness in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.